Effective Communication and Emotional Intelligence Mastery. 2 books in one. Everything you need to know about persuasion, NLP, mind hacking, and mental manipulation. Written by Barret, Trevis, Parks Daniel, Self-Discovery Academy. Narrated by Zachary, Zaba, Jim Rising.
Effective Communication. Discover the secrets and proven techniques to improve your persuasion and communication skills at work, in relationships, and in marriage. Self-Discovery Book 7. Written by Self-Discovery Academy. Narrated by Zachary, Zaba. Chapter 1. 6 Beginning Tips to Communicate Better. Thanks to the internet and the new technological frontiers, today we are able to reach many more people than in the past, so communication has become a skill to learn and cultivate. Communicating is a very articulate trait in human beings. Precisely because of this, communicating effectively can be sometimes difficult. But there are some simple tips that can make you communicate better and more effectively. The way everyone can communicate can be a little bit different, which is why it can be difficult to interpret the signals that come to us, if they arrive. However, there are some simple techniques to use that can improve our ability to communicate. The conversations we entertain every day can be very stimulating and interesting. Everything is in the way that we communicate. Number 1, the right topic. If you want to start a conversation or establish a thread of communication effectively, avoid, especially at the beginning, complex subjects, challenging topics, or things that tend to create divisions and alignments. Therefore, leave issues such as politics and religions out of the conversation. Another important step is to not go off topic. Have you ever talked to people about a subject but they were continually going on about other topics? Annoying, right? If you want to communicate effectively, avoid going off topic when this is not required. If you have particular difficulty communicating with someone because of very conflicting opinions, try to find and focus on the points of agreement that have emerged in the discussion. Instead, avoid focusing on topics in which you are in clear contrast. Number 2, active listening. Try to listen with sincere attention to what your interlocutor is saying and try to recognize the other person's criticisms and fears, not to apply some phantom NLP technique, but to better understand what your interlocutor wants to sincerely express. Active listening to other people means being focused on them rather than on yourself. So you have to temporarily set aside your ego to put the focus on your interlocutor. To improve your active listening, do not continually interrupt the other. It may happen that you have to expose a sudden or particular pertinent concept, but don't make it a rule. Then remember to deepen what concerns your interlocutor. Doing so will make them immediately feel very taken with you and more willing to talk. When you listen, do not just listen to what you are told, but try to get yourself into the situation. Try to understand the other person's point of view. This is very important to communicate effectively. Number 3, nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication includes most of the messages we present and transmit. To communicate effectively, it is essential to use this type of language that includes posture, expression, gaze, gesticulation, and much more. The table below presents a significant statistic. As you can see, the words we speak represent only 7% of the message. 38% is how we communicate the message, and 55% identify the actions that we take as we communicate the message. These percentages are now widespread and are widely used for explanations on effective communication. As always in individual growth, we try to reason independently. Personally, I think it is very difficult to establish such precise data for such a complex subject. Then take these data as a trace, but do not crystallize on them to get a universal and objective reality. It is therefore evident that the best way to communicate effectively is to harmonize your nonverbal communication with the verbal one. Pay attention to how you usually manage where you look and what posture you hold during communication. On nonverbal communication, there would be a whole series of articles to write. For the moment, your focus is on the movements you launch when you communicate something and notice if they are consistent with what you're saying. Number 4, smart interaction. Interaction is a fundamental characteristic of people who manage to establish effective communication. If you just listen passively without any interaction, you're not really communicating. To interact better with your interlocutor, you have different possibilities. Ask smart questions. I'm not talking about questions about time or general questions that fit a little to everyone, but questions relevant to what your interlocutor has communicated to you.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?